Okay, what if I told you that one simple habit could literally change everything? We're about to dive into the story of a guy named Thomas. And let me tell you, this guy had nothing. No money, no future, not a shred of hope. But he completely turned his life around by discovering what we're calling the 5 a.m. secret. And it's not just about, dragging yourself out of bed early. It's about what he did in those quiet hours. That's what gave him this absolutely unbeatable edge. This right here, this was the question that was just haunting Thomas, a 32-year-old night guard. And it's so much more than just a question, right? It's a cry for help. It's that feeling of being stuck in the shadows. You know that feeling, that deep desperation when you feel totally trapped by your life? Well, for Thomas, this one question, it was the spark that started the fire. So, a life lived backwards. What does that even look like? Well, for Thomas, it was this soul-crushing cycle of exhaustion. We're talking a low-paying job guarding empty buildings all night long. A tiny little one-room apartment. And that feeling, that crushing weight, that no matter how hard you work, you're just spinning your wheels while everyone else is racing ahead.
I want you to picture this. Every single morning, Thomas is walking home from his shift, and the rest of the world is just starting its day. He's seeing families having breakfast through their windows, kids running off to school, people in suits heading off to their careers, and he just feels like a ghost. A spectator watching life happen, but never, ever being a part of it.
And this really gets to the core of his problem, doesn't it? His schedule was totally flipped. He'd crash into bed around 7 a.m. and sleep till 4 in the afternoon, just as the entire world of opportunity was closing up shop for the day. I mean, the whole rhythm of his life was just completely out of sync with anything that looked like success. And then, everything changed. But it wasn't just one thing. It was this perfect storm, a collision of two huge events. First, a painful family crisis that gave him a reason to fight. And second, a totally random encounter that gave him the weapon. These two moments, they were what finally shattered that cycle for good.
So the first domino to fall, a call from his sister. His mom had collapsed, just from stress and exhaustion. And seeing her in that hospital bed, looking so frail, Thomas felt this incredible surge of anger. But not at the world, at himself, at his own helplessness. And looking at her, he made this silent, powerful promise. I will find a way. I will change everything.
Okay, so get this. On the bus ride back from the hospital, he's feeling completely defeated, right? And he ends up sitting next to this successful businessman, a guy named Mr. Chun. And the weird thing is, what's a rich guy like him doing on a 6 a.m. public bus? So Thomas asks him, and that's when the man drops the secret to his entire success, what he calls the magic hours. That little window of time when you can build a life you actually want, while everyone else is still asleep.
And Mr. Chun, he could just see it in Thomas's eyes. This wasn't just some guy complaining. This was real desperation. So he didn't give him some fluffy advice, follow your dreams. No, he offered him a blueprint, a super clear, disciplined 90-day plan designed to just tear his old life down to the studs and build a brand new one brick by painful brick.
And he used this incredible metaphor. He told Thomas, look, your life is a house. And right now it's falling apart because you've never, ever worked on the foundation. Those early morning hours, he said, that's your time. That's when you stop just patching cracks and you start actually pouring the concrete and building something that will last. And this is where it gets crazy powerful. Let's just do the math for a second. 2 extra hours every single morning. That adds up to 730 hours a year. I mean, stop and think about that. That's like getting an extra 18 40-hour work weeks. You're basically getting an entire extra season of productivity that almost everybody else just sleeps right through. So the core of the plan was this really simple but totally non-negotiable 2-hour system. Okay, hour 1, that's 5 to 6 a.m. That was all about building a valuable skill. For Thomas, that was mastering Excel and accounting. Then hour 2, 6 to 7 a.m., that was for his body and mind. 30 minutes of exercise to create energy, and 30 minutes of reading and planning to get focused and create clarity.
Now, to make sure this whole thing actually worked, Mr. Chun gave him 3 unbreakable rules. Rule number 1, the 5 a.m. alarm, it's not a suggestion, it's not a negotiation, no excuses ever. Rule number 2, you have to protect your morning by protecting your sleep. That means your butt is in bed by 9 p.m. And rule number 3, and this is the big one, the first week is going to be hell. Your body will scream at you. You have to push through the pain. So, The big question, right? Did it actually work? Well, Thomas accepted the challenge, and the next 90 days, man, they were grueling. They were lonely. They were probably the hardest 90 days of his entire life, but they absolutely transformed him. He went from a guy with zero options to a man who was grabbing every single opportunity he could. Okay, let's break it down. Day 1 was an absolute battle. He wanted to quit so bad, but he didn't. He just kept going. And then, around day 21, something amazing happened. He started waking up before the alarm even went off. His new skills were boosting his confidence. And then came day 87, the big payoff. His supervisor noticed his new expertise and offered him a job in accounting. Just like that. All because of the work he did while everyone else was sleeping. I mean, just look at this before and after. It's absolutely staggering. In just 3 months, he goes from a hopeless night guard to a skilled accountant. From feeling trapped to being in complete control. He basically doubled his salary. And this wasn't magic. It wasn't luck. It was the direct result of a system that he followed every single day. And you know what's funny? Even after he got the new job, his coworkers were totally baffled. They'd be like, "Dude, why are you still getting up at 5 a.m.?" In this quote, this was his answer. He realized the 5 a.m. thing wasn't just a temporary fix to escape a bad job. No, it had become who he was. It was his identity. It was his daily practice of becoming a better person.
All right, so this is where we get to the most important part. Because Thomas's story, it isn't just some feel-good, inspiring tale. It's a blueprint. It's something that can be repeated. So I want you to consider this a direct challenge to you right now. A challenge that you can accept starting tomorrow morning.
Here it is, the exact same 3-step challenge that changed Thomas's life. Step 1, set one alarm for 5 a.m. But here's the trick. Put it all the way across the room. You have to physically get up to turn it off. Step 2, you need to decide tonight, what is the one skill you're going to build in that first hour? And step 3, protect that 9 p.m. bedtime like your life depends on it. Because really, your morning depends on it and your future depends on your morning. So, this is it. This is where the theory stops and your story begins. This isn't about what you could do someday. This is about what you will do tomorrow morning. So what's it going to be? What are you going to build or learn or create in that very first hour? A new language? A coding skill? That business plan you've been putting off? I want you to make that decision right now. And I want you to remember this. Waking up at 5 a.m., it's not a punishment. Think of it like this. It's a scheduled appointment with the person you know you can become. That future version of you, they're literally on the other side of that alarm clock, just waiting for you. And the only question left is, are you going to show up?